Hello, I'm I Deserve a Pint, and welcome to a Gran Turismo 7 discussion point on Raaaage, or rather, controlling it. Now, I don't profess to be the best GT7 player in the world, because I'm quite clearly absolutely nowhere near, but of course I am still learning with every race. But one thing that's always got the better of me, ever since I started online gaming around 1997, as I'm sure it has for many of you too, is rage, or for some reason needing to apportion blame on others and generally being very quick to temper, which can then obviously subsequently result in a variety of negative exchanges of views and messages and so on and so forth. Now, generally I'm actually quite a competitive gamer, and in particular when I started playing GT7 in anger, no pun intended, earlier this year, I found that although I'm much older now, very much older, I'm generally still no different in how I approach a game these days, especially when it comes to a system such as DR. You see, I really like and need to see progression. It just gives me that enjoyment that the time I'm investing in is worthwhile, but on the reverse of that, I thoroughly dislike regression. I managed to hit the lofty heights of DRA recently, but have since rapidly dropped off and now sit around 2/3 up within DRB, which is fine. I've learnt, or probably rather had to accept, that this is my level for now, so I'll just try and crack on and enjoy the racing. Just accepting really that regression is actually still part of the process and probably necessary. This video captures a moment whereby I felt severe rage, as I'd had a few disappointing races in a row, resulting in a drop of DR. So this first lap encounter on this particular race upset me a tad. But as you'll see as the video progresses, and looking through a couple of other drivers' perspectives, I'm glad that I didn't spam the keyboard and start chucking blame around to other drivers at the end in the race lobby. Not that I ever do such a thing, of course. So here we are on Blue Moon Bay Speedway in this week's Daily Race B. Now, I'm not going to say too much here. I'm just going to let the incident play through and then we'll watch it again, but slowed down a tad. But I was happy with my start because as we go into turn 2, I've probably caught up on the pack by a couple of tenths. So let's have a look at the clip again now, but this time slowed down a bit. So we've got Cape MT Rider in 7th and Niek Moody in 6th. Now I don't think Niek gives Cape MT Rider an awful lot of space there, but they seem to come through it without too much fuss. But then all of a sudden I'm tapped on the right hand side by the black Lambo. Now it doesn't destabilise the car, so I don't think too much of it. But then I'm tapped again for a second time. Now that obviously gets me thinking, well, what's going on with this guy here? And then I'm hit for a third time. Now that completely unbalances the car. It means I miss my braking point by around about 4/10 of a second, and then I hit Niek, who goes spiralling off into the wall. Now usually what I would have done, I would have put my hands up and I would have waited for Niek, but I didn't think I was at fault for that incident, so I carried on. Believing that the penalty system would ultimately sort things out. And sort things out it did, of course, by slapping me with a 5-second penalty. It's probably just as well I didn't have my nice shiny new streaming microphone connected at the time, because the captured audio would have been laden with many pre-watershed expletives, absolutely not suitable for children. So we're on board with Tommy now, who is in the black Lamborghini. And at this point, was he carrying too much speed? I'm not too sure, but this is the first point of contact that Tommy has with my car. And now as we progress down the track, all of a sudden we have another third party that starts to play a part in the incident, and that is Ariel. Now, this incident causes Tommy to spin off, which I wasn't aware of at the time. We're on board with Ariel now. We can see the incident unfold from this driver's perspective. They get a pretty good exit there, but for some reason around about here, I think it is, Raaaage just turns into Tommy slightly, which seems to cause the chain reaction of contact. Now it looks to me like Raaaage probably isn't even aware of what's just unfolded and comes out of this completely unscathed after 3 drivers are taken out. And finally, just onto chase cam now, just so we can tidy the incident up and see how everything unfolded from behind. I'll let you judge exactly what happened there, or was it just a racing incident? But after finishing last after serving the penalty, I'm definitely glad that I didn't have a rage explosion at Tommy and just took a breath. After all, it's only a game and not the end of the world. Just remember, your perception in race is not always the reality. Happy racing, and thank you for watching.